Hi guys, today we've got a day of random projects in the garden. I want to continue on with our garden bed maintenance. I want to finish up the boxwood hedge at the bottom of the swale. I want to remove the rocks, get rid of all the grass that's trying to grow in there, and I'm pulling all the hostas because they've pretty much shriveled up and died. So I'm just going to get rid of them, cover everything with mulch, and just kind of let it be for the rest of the season. I would like to also get to the sky pencil holly hedge and remove some of the grass that's trying to grow in from the lawn. It's made its way under the vinyl edging and it's starting to like spread, so I want to get it and yank it before it takes over. And then we've got some harvesting to do because we've got tomatoes and peppers that are ready to be picked and they look so good. Let me show you our pepper bed. Look at all of these red little globes. Those are all peppers just ready to be harvested, and they go all the way around to the other side. And look at this. Let me get in here. Look at all of them. There's so many. That's awesome. And check out the tomatoes that have ripened on the vine. There's just bundles and bundles of red, ripe tomatoes, and they look so good. And you guys, these bags that I've put them in, these little pouches, game changer. They are working beautifully. They have not been beaked by any birds. They're great. But look at all of these tomatoes, you guys. These are the Sunrise Bumblebee Cherry Tomatoes. These are so good, so sweet. There's just a bunch of them. And then the Harvest Moons are setting fruit all over again. Look at all of that, just hiding underneath. I love that. The Brandywine tomato is just, it's going for it. Look at that. Look at all of that fruit it's setting. I mean, it's just hiding in here. So exciting. And then our pineapple tomato. We've got some tomatoes ready to be picked. These are my favorite tomatoes, you guys. They're so good. Look at that, hiding underneath. I'm also going to show you guys how I blanch the celery. It only takes a couple minutes, but it definitely helps get rid of that bitterness that you typically can find in homegrown celery. I also want to spend a couple minutes on the green stalk. I want to get rid of the cucumber plant because it's pretty much done for the season. And we've got some celery down here that I'd like to blanch as well. Ooh, that looks really good too. Most of these projects shouldn't take too long, so I'm going to start with harvesting our tomatoes and peppers. Then I'll show you the fruits of our labor, and then I'll go bed by bed. I'll give you a before shot. I'll explain what I'm going to do. I'll get everything done, and then give you the quick tour and show you the after. Here's our toolkit for today. I've got my Felco nippers, my pruners, some more pouches for the tomatoes. I've got my gloves, a hand trowel, some empty paper towel rolls that we're going to use for blanching the celery, and some plant tape, a basket for our harvest, and a kneeling pad if we need it. Tomato and pepper harvest, here we go. right, guys, look at this. Look at this harvest. Ah, it looks so good. Let's go take this to the patio. And I'll just show you guys real quick. Oof, look at that. Isn't that pretty? So colorful. So we've got our pineapple tomatoes over here, and I am so proud of this one. Look how beautiful it is. That blush orange, pink, and yellow. Not a crack on it. Love it. Got our Armageddons here. San Marzanos. Some, unidentified peppers. Sunrise bumblebee tomatoes. I think there's a few Moscovich in here. Just a beautiful, beautiful, colorful harvest. Look at that, you guys. And now we've got some kind of weather thing happening. I don't know if it's supposed to rain or not. I did not see rain in the forecast, but the wind is picking up and the clouds have rolled in. So we're just going to move on to the next project, and if we get rained out, we'll pick it back up when the rain stops. All right, guys, I'm going to show you how I blanch the celery real quick. I've got a pair of scissors, some plant tape, and the end of a paper towel roll. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to measure it up to where the leaves start, which is right about there. And I'm just going to cut a piece of the cardboard. Then I'm going to take the cardboard and make a cut. Open it up. And then all I'm going to do is get a hold of my celery like it's a ponytail, and just take this cardboard and put it around, just like that. Take a piece of tape to secure it. And there it is. That is your blanched celery. And what this cardboard does is it keeps the sun from hitting the celery stalks. I'm sorry, blanked out there. The cardboard keeps the light from hitting the celery stalks, and it keeps the celery sweeter, because the greener that the stalks are, the more bitter the celery becomes. So by protecting it from the light, we'll see those nice celery stalks on the outer layers when you get them. You see them at the supermarket. They're kind of like a very pale green. They've got a lot of white at the bottom. That's what we're going for by blanching them. That was quick. Now on to the next project. So this is the boxwood hedge at the bottom of the swale, and we are going to come in here. I'm going to remove some of the rocks and just pull all of this grass that has grown into the rocks. Pull it all out, put the rocks back in, then remove all of these hostas, because look at them, they're done. And all of these weeds, these annoying little weeds, ugh. They're trying to sprout in through there. And just kind of clean this whole bed up really quick. Oh, real quick, I forgot to show you guys the after of the pepper and tomato beds. So the pepper bed, this side is the jalafuegos. You can see a bunch of them on here. I did not harvest any of these. I'm kind of letting these, I'm trying to get a big, huge harvest all at once, because I want to try my hand at candied jalapenos or cowboy candy. But I did come into the Armageddons, or the marked Armageddons, alleged, and harvested as much as I could. There's still some that are like an orange color. They're not red, and I just left them. All of these peppers here, you can see they're orange. They're not ready yet, but you can see, I mean, just look how many are on here. This is one plant. Holy mackerel. Anyway, so we've got quite a bit of harvesting now. These are the Armageddons, the true Armageddons. You can see how they look. They look really like crinkly. Yeah, those are Armageddons, but they're not ready yet. But we were able to get a few. And then we have our tomato bed. We harvested a couple of pineapple, or a few pineapple tomatoes, some San Marzanos. This is the Moscovich. And I don't know what's happening here, but I'm just leaving it because it's still pushing out little bits of fruit. So I'm just gonna see what it does. So we got a bunch of tomatoes from the San Marzano. Sunrise Bumblebee Cherry Tomato, my favorite. Got a bunch from that. This is the Harvest Moon. There wasn't any ripe fruit on that or the Brandywine, but there's a lot of fruit. It said a lot of fruit. So we came in after our harvest and we just put a whole bunch of pouches on all of the fruit. And there's a bunch in here. Like all the ones back in the middle, I didn't even bother with because they're totally protected. But the Sunrise Bumblebee, it's got a bunch more fruit on it too. So we totally protected all of our fruits. This is the Brandywine. I mean, it's just loaded up. Pineapple tomato. I didn't harvest this one. It's still not ready yet, but we've got more fruit set over here. Let's go inside. Some more right in there. A whole bunch more up here too. I mean, the humidity went away and the tomato plants woke up. And that's the thing with tomatoes. When it gets too hot and too humid, they kind of lull and they stop producing fruit and they basically kind of just go into like energy saver mode. But once the humidity breaks and we kind of cool off a little bit, they just explode. And you've seen all that fruit in September and it's still setting fruit. So we've got quite a bit of harvesting to do. So I'm excited. Okay, back to our Boxwood hedge project. Well, that took a lot less time than I thought. I spent about 20 minutes in that bed and got it all done. I think because I didn't have to really move the rocks in the swale too much because the grass was just coming up. Let's check it all out. It doesn't really look too much different over here, minus the hostas. I did pull them and I did kind of clean up the edge a little bit, but we're going to be removing the grass later on, so I'm not too worried about it. But I did get in here towards at the bottom of the swale and got rid of all that grass that was just growing right on top of the rocks, and I didn't have to pull it. I mean, I didn't have to move the rocks too much. I could just pull it. So that was a very nice surprise. Came back over here and cleaned up and removed all the remaining hostas. Did a little bit of edging over here. Kind of just wanted to make it look a little nice and straight as it leads into the zinnia patch. And this is our debris. Not too bad. Most of it is the hostas and a little bit of grass. There wasn't too much, although I did dig up what looks to be a piece of rebar. So I don't know, I'm gonna show it to Mo. This might be from the old retaining wall or the chain link fence. I'm not sure. But this whole bed is done. I love getting things checked off the checklist. Now we're gonna move to the front yard where the sky pencil holly hedge is, and I'm just gonna pull the grass that's growing into the beds. I'm just gonna pull all that. That's all we're doing there. So that should take a few minutes, hopefully not too long. Let's go out. Oof. So let me show you what I'm doing here. So you can see some of this grass has grown like under the vinyl edging and it's popping through here and it's starting to root in all over the place. So I'm gonna try and pull as much as I can, but it is just really in there, you guys. Ugh. Look at that. Ugh. Anyways, there's not too much of it, but you can see it's trying to make its way under and in. So there's just a few spots that I really need to focus on, like right over here. Got some spurge over here, piece of grass here. A little bit more as we get towards the end of the swale. Shouldn't be too bad. All right guys, I got as much of that grass out of that bed as I could. I think I've gotten most of the roots out from there, but we are going to be coming in towards the end of the wall and removing some of the grass. So I didn't want to mess with it too much because it is kind of like an erosion control right at the edge where it slopes down. So I removed a little bit from the end, and I think I got most everything in the bed. Okay, so we're standing behind the wall so I can show you the edge a lot better, and you can see that a lot of the grass that was trying to come in and underneath this edging, I got as much of it out as I could with the roots. That root system is intense. It spreads by rhizome, so wherever it wants to go, it goes. Look at this. I mean, you just pull it up and it just starts traveling wherever it wants to. So, but I did clean up as much of it as I could. I think it looks really good, and it will definitely keep the grass at bay from getting into this bed. And right over here at the end, this is what I was talking about. I kind of left this part alone just because it is on such a slope that if I mess with it too much when it rains, we're gonna get a lot of like erosion, and the clay soil will just flow right into the sidewalk and just create a mess for the neighbors. So we're just gonna leave that be until we redo this whole area and kind of get rid of some of the grass. But okay, I'm really happy with this project done and off the checklist too. And this is the debris from this bed. You can see this, the roots are just, some of these roots are just intense, and they were buried so deep it took both hands and all my strength to try and rip them out, but I think I got most of them. Okay, let's take this and dump it. Now we can move on and give the green stalk a little attention. Oh, and I just noticed this pepper plant is leaning over. This is from the wind that we're having right now. So I do have it staked up. I have it planted right in here, and I've got a green garden stake tied to it. I think I'm going to, because it's so tall, I'm going to put another stake in where this strawberry plant is, and then I'll just tie it right there. And it'll stick out a little bit, but at least our peppers will be okay. Look at that. Yeah, two little bell peppers. Love it. Stay. I also want to get rid of this cucumber plant and try and untangle it from all of this. Okay, I'm going to get this stake in here, one pocket up from where I planted it. I've got a little piece of plant tape, and I'm just going to attach the stem to the stake. There. Okay, now I'm just going to, I think I'm just going to cut, look at all these strawberry runners. I think I'm just going to cut this plant off at the base and just try and untangle it from all these strawberry runners. That's not too bad. Oh, we have a little cucumber on here. That wasn't too bad at all. Look at all these future strawberry plants. Back to this cucumber plant real quick. I left a cucumber on here too long, and if you do that, it will send a signal to the plant to go to seed, and it will stop all fruit production, go to seed, wither up, and die. And that's pretty much what I think happened here, so that's why we removed it. But we do have more cucumber plants in the raised beds that we planted a couple weeks ago, and they're doing beautifully. In fact, I'm going to show you them. I'll give you guys a quick update on our late summer and fall crops that we planted because they're looking really good. I'm really happy too. So here we are real quick. I removed all of the netting and the garden stakes here. We've got our tomatoes in the back, which are doing really well. You can see they're flowering. And I told you in a couple weeks they'd be twice the size. And look at that. They're they're actually over halfway up the trellis. Our beans in the back, we've got jade bush beans back here. They're looking really good. We've got our zucchini and squash plants over here. This is our cucumber plants right here. And I put a garden stake in here, and I've been training these little tassels or legs to attach onto here as kind of like a support. So you can see that I've been doing it all up and down here, and it's holding on. But these are looking really good. We've got our salvias over here. This carrot bed looks a little, it germinated but doesn't really look very even. This bed, everything is looking good. Pretty much a mirror image of that bed, except these squash plants. They look huge. Oh my gosh. But you can see, training the cucumber plants to support themselves up the stake. Back to the fuchsia salvia is blooming. And the carrots in this bed look sketch, to say the least. I think I only see like 3 or 4 carrots. So, not expecting too much in the way of carrots from this bed, but all in all, they're looking really good. Oh, and real quick, our patch of flowers that we threw in here, they're looking good. A couple of the zinnias have already got powdery mildew, which is pretty typical in our area because of the humidity. But I think now that the humidity is broken, it should settle down. I could spray them if I wanted to, but I'm not going to bother. I'll just let them do their thing. And there's our sweet potato vine tower. I'm really, really hoping that we get a nice harvest of sweet potatoes from this. But even if we don't, it's been fun growing this thing. Oh, I forgot I've got a jalafuego in here. Oh my God, this thing is loaded up too. Yay. I'm so excited to try cowboy candied jalapenos. Should I video it for you guys? It could be a disaster. I forgot to blanch this one celery, so let's do that real quick. Let me groom this up a little bit. Get some of this dead stuff off. Okay, I've got it cut open, so we're just going to grab it like a ponytail and just slip this on. And let me just get a piece of tape, plant tape. Come in, tighten it up. There we are. Perfect. Oh, the wind is picking up. Can you guys see that? Oh, I think I can start to feel some rain. Okay. All right, we've got something coming. Anyways, I wanted to do one last thing before we wrap this up. I want to get a weight on that big pineapple tomato. I'm just curious to see how much it weighs. Okay, let's try this. 15.5. It keeps kind of fluctuating. 15.6. 15.6. I don't know if you guys can see that. You know, for its size, I expected it to be a little heavier, but it will still feed us very well. Anyways, guys, that is it for this video. I'm so happy to be able to finish, I guess, the second part of our garden bed maintenance. I feel like I'm completely caught up now from the heat wave, the boxwood hedge. That whole area is done. That annoying grass in the sky pencil holly hedge, that has been eradicated somewhat. We addressed the green stalk a little bit. We harvested some tomatoes and peppers. We've got our pouches on the new fruit, the new tomatoes, and we got our celery blanch. So all in all, I would say that's a very productive day, and just in time before the rain comes, because the clouds are thickening up and the wind is definitely picking up. So I think we're done for the day. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for coming along with me, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.